Thursday Night Football, the New England Patriots are on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers in the biggest game of the NFL season, a big over-under of 30.5 points. This expects to be a snooze fest, but my favorite two picks are on the way. And we got to do a recap of how we did in Week 13. A wonderful week. Hopefully you guys made some money. An 8-2 week, now 16-4 over the past 2 weeks. I know it was a bad start to the season. I told you we were going to get hot, and we are hot right now. And honestly, this is a great heat check, because if you can have a 2-0 night in this game, I don't think we'll ever lose another pick. But without further ado, we're going to dive into the picks we like. But as always, let me know your favorite pick down below. And if you are new, do me a favor, go down below, hit that subscribe. And we're trying to hit 200,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I believe to hit that, we need to average about 300 every single day. So hit that subscribe button if you are new. Help us accomplish that goal for into the new year. But either way, let's dive into the picks today. Like I said, I got 2 of them. And honestly, if you don't want to bet on this game, I wouldn't call you crazy. Some books are really slow to list props because we have some injury news like Najee Harris, who is expected to play according to reports early this morning. But who knows? You won't really know until closer to when actives are listed later on. But I got 2 picks that I love. Let's dive into them. The first one is going to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. My favorite pick is going to be Diontae Johnson, over 42.5 receiving yards, minus 110 on Bet365. I would play this up to 44.5 for Diontae. The line actually was 41.5 on some books. It was about minus 130. Look, you can lay a little bit of juice on there, and if Diontae ends with 42, congrats, you got a winner. But I'd rather take the yard higher to go from minus 130 to minus 110 on Bet365. So definitely line chop. As always, there are a bunch of different sign-up links down below if you ever want to sign up for a new sports book. But let's talk about Diontae, who so far this season, it's been very up and down one, especially for the Steelers offense. But since he returned back from injury a few games ago, I just want to dive into his last 2 games specifically. These last 2, Diontae, 4 receptions, 8 targets for 50 yards, and then 4 receptions, 5 targets for 33 yards last week. Now, if you do not know and follow the Pittsburgh Steelers, Kenny Pickett is out for this game. Mitch Trubisky is coming in hot. And while, I wish Pickett was out there, Trubisky's he's still a capable QB, at least knock on wood. Let's hope we can target Diontae Johnson tonight. But I expect Diontae to get a bulk of the targets coming out of from Mitch Trubisky. We saw last week when Mitch Trubisky kind of came into that game, really didn't target Diontae a whole lot until the end, like their last drive when they scored a touchdown. Diontae caught a 26-yarder to get them down to like the 2 or 3 yard line in that one. And Diontae's really talented wide receiver. Sometimes he does drop some passes here and there, sue him, but he's probably their most talented guy in terms of running routes. And that's kind of what Mitch Trubisky is going to be looking for. And Diontae's a target hog. He's had 4+ targets in all 8 games this season that he's played in. He hit this over in 5 of those 8. And you look at wide receivers against the Patriots, 30 wide receivers this season have 4 or more targets, 18 of 30, 60% hit this over. If you look at guys with 6 or more targets, normally the number 1 guys, 16 of 19 guys with 6 or more targets against this Patriots corners. 16 of those 19 have hit the over. So I really think that you're going to see Diontae Johnson targeted a ton. And while I'm not necessarily thinking he's going down the field, going 30 yards, getting 6 targets of 30+ yards each, no, that's probably George Pickens' job. But I still think they're going to lean on Diontae Johnson early. If you look at the Patriots, their defense, really their strength on the defense is stopping the run. And I still do think Najee Harris and Jalen Warren can have good days, but I think that you're going to have a lot more success throwing the ball against the very inexperienced corners that they have, because they had a really good one in Christian Gonzalez. Then he got injured early on in the season, and they just haven't been good recently. So I really like Diontae Johnson. He's had a great track record with Mitch Trubisky. Trubisky obviously started as their starter last season, and he looked really good last year with Diontae Johnson. So I really do think that we'll see Diontae and Mitch kind of reconnect and rekindle that flame that they had last season. So I'm riding with Diontae Johnson. It might be sketchy, but I really do like his over 42.5 receiving yards. I considered his receptions line. I know a lot of people got on that early at 3.5 juiced. It is 4.5 at like plus money. I don't hate that either. He could see 5 receptions, but I think that we'll see maybe 4 receptions for probably about 50 yards, give or take. I really like Diontae Johnson on Thursday Night Football, which should be a pretty ugly game. I think Diontae can come through. Now, my second pick is going to go to the other side. We're going to talk about a New England Patriots running back, and it's their number 1 guy now. It's Ezekiel Elliott, over 15.5 rush attempts, minus 115 on PointsBet. Now, there are a lot of people out there that are going to ask, where is this market, Austin? I've loaded up on my book, and I can't find it. That's because a lot of books don't have this market listed, and normally it is one of the last markets listed. However, normally it's live by now. I've been waiting. Normally this Thursday Night Football video gets posted Wednesday nights, but I literally had no lines, and this was one that I was targeting, and finally it's been dropped. FanDuel has it about minus 130. When it does drop, if you want to check it closer to kickoff, I do really like it at 16.5 too. I really like not only Deontay Johnson, but also Ezekiel Elliott today over 15.5 rush attempts. Now, before I dive into why, let's talk about Ezekiel Elliott, then his other props, because I know people are going to ask, how do you feel about rushing yards? I don't hate his rushing yards line, but honestly, I'd really rather not. Zeke is not the most efficient guy. I actually do like his under 13.5 yards for his longest rush. I believe Dr. Profit on Twitter gave that one out. I really like that look, but this does not come down to how efficient Ezekiel Elliott is. Now, obviously, it would be nice if he was getting 3, 4, or 5 yards a carry, but he still might get 16 rush attempts, and he's done that before. Now, over the last 3 weeks, we've seen this Patriots offense really struggle. They've been throwing Zappy and Mac Jones in there every other drive. It feels like you see a new guy at QB. They just have not had a lot of continuity at the QB position. However, the running backs have been getting their touches. We've seen Zeke and Ramondre Stevenson combined for 33, 30, and 26 rush attempts these last 3 weeks. Now, obviously, Ramondre Stevenson's out. Zeke's going to go into that number one role. And behind him, you got Ty Montgomery, who even when Ramondre was injured last week, didn't see a ton of snaps, and JaMychal Hasty. Two guys that really I'm not too scared of taking a bulk of the running back carries. So Zeke's going to get all the early down work, and heck, he might even get some second, third down work too, and the goal line work as well. So I think at the end of the day, unless the Patriots are down in this game by 2+ touchdowns, with an over-under at 30.5, I find unlikely. I think we're going to see Zeke handle a lot of the workload. We've seen running backs have success against the Steelers. Now, they aren't necessarily breaking off, 10, 15-yard carries, but you're getting a good 4 or 5 yards a chunk, and that's honestly pretty good for what the Patriots are trying to do. And over the last 8 weeks, the Steelers have seen 25, 30, 27, 22, 22, 25, 8, and 29 rushing attempts from the opposing team's running back. So that's not just the number one guy, but it's the number one and the number two guy. Normally teams only have 2 running backs they carry the ball with. Those guys have been combining for a ton of carries. And so if you tell me this Patriots team approaches 20, 22 rush attempts, I'd imagine Ezekiel Elliott is the guy handling at least 16 of them, probably closer to 80%, 90% of the rush attempts. So, look, the only team that really went under that line was the Bengals, who just abandoned the run, which is what they do. But I really do think Zeke's going to be the guy that gets at least 16 rush attempts. I really think he could approach 20 if this game is close. And given the over-unders at 30.5, I imagine everyone is going to be betting on Steelers in some way or another. I think we see a decent day out of Zeke. So, I know it's scary to ask a Patriot to do anything right, but I really do like this one. Over 15.5 rush attempts. Like I said, wait until closer to kickoff if you do not have a line. It is live on FanDuel and PointsBet, and I believe maybe one other book, but some other books like DraftKings, BetMGM are still waiting on probably some more injury news to come out, but you should have this line definitely by kickoff. This is not a market that's, a really obscure one. It's normally live on every single book. It's just that there's so many injuries for this game, especially on both sides, not only for the Steelers, for Najee Harris, but also with the Patriots and half of their wide receivers, which is probably why they're being a little bit careful. But I really like Zeke. I really don't think that the Patriots want to have Zappy standing back there trying to throw the ball to the injured wide receiver core they have. See TJ Watt coming at him. No, that doesn't feel like what they want to do. So those are my 2 favorite picks of the day. We're on a 16-4 NFL run. Hopefully we can continue that with a 2-0 night tonight, which would be awesome to carry that over into Sunday, which we have another solid slate on Sunday. Then we got 2 Monday Night Football games. That's going to be a good day. So let's have a wonderful Thursday Night Football. Sorry this video was live a little bit later on than you're used to it, but definitely enough time to get your picks locked in before this game tips off. A couple other videos popped up on the screen, including my NBA best bets, and day 2 of our ladder challenge was posted a little bit later on. Let's have a great day. I'll see you guys back in the next one. It's Austin. I'm signing out. Catch you later. Peace.